Hi, I'm Alan Lockyear. Glad to be here today, sitting here in the Grindstone Club. What's the connection? Why am I so lucky to be here? My grandparents, August H. Gronwald, my step-grandfather, bought the Golden Eagle Hotel in 1906. My grandmother, whom I'm a direct relation to, married August Gronwald in 1920. We had the Golden Eagle Hotel obviously from 1906 through the passing of my grandfather, August, back in 1945 at the end of the war. And my grandmother continued to run the Golden Eagle Hotel until 1958, when it was sold. That is, in fact, the same year that John Bartosh, we call him Johnny Bartosh, in fact, closed the Golden Eagle cigar store. I was born, for context, I was born in January of 1953. I was lucky enough to be at the Golden Eagle Hotel every year, usually twice a year. We owned the Golden Eagle, so in the early years, we would stay there at the hotel, and this was, from probably the year of conception, so my memory goes back quite a ways. We did sell it in 58, so I was 5 years old at the time, but my grandmother, Nanny, Sophronia, continued to stay and live. We had private apartments within the center of the hotel. Once it was sold, she moved into a room in the Golden Eagle and lived there until she passed away on December 29th, 62. And so also, after we sold at 5 years old, I still would continue to come back, visit Grandma, visit the Golden Eagle. One thing I didn't personally know, but I'm very proud of, is that when the time when Potts was selling or had sold the Golden Eagle cigar store to young Johnny Bartosh, World War I came along, and he sold it back to another individual so he could go off to war. And my grandfather, August Gronwald, threw in the special dining room, a small dining room. I'm not sure I was ever in that dining room, but anyway, he threw a special going away for John Bartosh and a few others that were going off to World War I. And that's part of the history that I'm very, very proud of happening, and just happens to also involve Johnny. Well, they had it for 52 years, so the answer is yes. My particular knowledge, not too deep. I know that my mother met and on a few occasions had discussions with Wyatt Earp. He had property in Idaho and also in Southern California, and he would on occasion come up and stay at the Golden Eagle. Tom Hanks. His parents both worked at the Golden Eagle. They probably worked also under Nanny. He's younger than I am, but he spent a lot of time as a rug rat there, and I might very well have run into him. Being the Golden Eagle is the center of action, also the service clubs and the like, so there was a lot of knowledge whether they were staying at the hotel or not. For example, they would know when Clark Creek was being used by the Chicago mob, and everyone would be standing down from that. That sort of thing was also a talk of the family. Well, I was an early learner. My favorite room was probably the bar or the lobby. The lobby because it had this wonderful Golden Eagle way up there. Keep in mind, I'm 5, 6, 7 years old, whether we had owned it or not. And the bar because I was still knee-high to a grasshopper, and it was an amazing mahogany, beautiful series of rooms. Also, I remember distinctly getting the run of the place. I liked the kitchen. It was an amazing kitchen behind the grill. And secondly, there was a room that seemed to have unlimited numbers of bentwood chairs. And that was, the banquet hall in the back. Again, they'd have white tablecloths, very simple bentwood chairs, but a wonderful place to hold big banquets. Those were that. In terms of being in the rooms, I don't know. I remember being on the rather noisy railroad side of the house and hearing the trains come through about 3 a.m. We did know Johnny Bartosh as a personal friend. My parents knew him as Johnny. That would be both my grandfather, August, and my grandmother after August had passed. Obviously, they'd known each other for decades. And I knew him personally very, very much, very closely, in that as a kid, my impression of Johnny, was focused not so much on the wonderful cigar and pipe store, I might say. He had quite some pipes. They were fascinating. So that's another room at the Golden Eagle I had been into and found a bit awe-inspiring. But also, Johnny told me about a lot of gold claims that he had in the hills. And so from my perspective as a 4 or 5-year-old, I knew I was going to be rich because I knew John Bartosh. I can only say that he was one of the folks that was considered a friend within the family, and I found him to be someone, as a kid, I could trust, that I would have a very good conversation with him, just like the conversations about the gold mines. And I would always look forward to seeing him during our visits to the Golden Eagle. I have some distinct memories of the cigar store. It had an entrance both from the street outside, and I believe from the Golden Eagle. It was like a hallway there. I think it also went by some jewelry store, which didn't really interest me very much. And I was honored to be allowed to go into this rather adult store because we did know Johnny, and therefore, and I would never felt chased out, even though I was probably a bit underage at the time. It was amazing from the perspective of a rather small kid to look up at that wall of pipes and whatever. It's something I remember it today, and when I look at some of the photos on the wall here in the Grindstone Club, it just brings it back home to me. I feel touched and personally honored. It's not aimed at me, but because so much of this is wrapped around the parts of my history that I care so much about. I couldn't feel better about it. From the perspective of sort of the recreation of a quasi-men's club and whatever, my wife was very supportive of it. When she came over and met some of the folks, she said, "This is exactly what men need." And that's not to cut out any woman that might come through the door, but I feel very good and very comfortable with the folks at the Grindstone Club, and the focus on history I think is critical. I continue to myself research points that would be possible interest to other Grindstoners, and any week I come in, I'm going to have something I've checked out. Maybe it's well known, maybe it's not, but it's quite an inspiration to me.